Hey, welcome back to my channel. I'm Erica McFarland, aka Dr. E. That is me. I'm super excited to be back here with you guys. Welcome to my channel. Today, as you've seen by the thumbnail, we are going to be talking about my master growth plan and the power in writing things down. Yes, I know it's all the rave, manifestation, write things down, but it's true. It works. And it only works if you work it. So I'm going to try to tell you my way in making things happen by writing them down. As you can see right behind me, it is my vision board. And to be honest, this is a 2020 vision board that I just added a couple things to because a lot of things on there I'm still working on. But child, when I tell you, just thinking about it while I'm talking to y'all, I'm noticing that there are some things on the back of the board that are like, I don't know, like this here. I'm juicing now, as you've seen by the last video. Check it out if you have not. Just adding more fruits and vegetables into my diet, all that good stuff. This is what I'm doing. So it's on there and it's still continuing. And so a lot of stuff from 2020's vision board was really where I wanted to be in 2021. Just, add a plus sign on the back of that. So I didn't really do a vision board this year. Not saying that I won't, because I think I'm going to do one with my ladies at the Domestic Violence Agency. So, again, welcome. What I did do instead of a vision board, I did a master growth plan. And this is what it looks like. If you follow me on Instagram, then on my Facebook, Instagram and Facebook Live, on my Facebook Live, I shared my master growth plan with you guys. And on my story on Instagram, I shared the master growth plan. And so I'm going to show you now here on YouTube and just kind of show you how, or tell you how it's benefited me over this course of this year. And I know you're thinking like, okay, Erica, it is only January 18th. But y'all, this year is like moving so fast when it comes to accomplishments. Your girl is killing the game, okay? So I'm like, I just been thinking like, dude, what is it? And it's really like all the stuff that I had written down. So let's get into it. For the master growth plan, I have pretty much like a three-part like to-do list of how to achieve my goals that worked for me. And then I turned them into like worksheets in order to be able to give to others for free. So if you're interested in that, after I explain to you guys what it is, please go ahead and let me know and I will make sure you get your copy. So anywho, the first one I created was the Operation Manifestation. I found myself all over the place all the time. I want to do this. I want to do that. I don't have enough money for this. I don't have enough money for that. So what I did was like, okay, you got too many things written down. So before we even go further, just a real quick tip for y'all is that writing things down is not going to make things just like magically happen. Okay. Writing things down basically sets you up on such a high pedestal that it makes it easier for you to jump in there and accomplish what it is that you desire to accomplish. Okay. So with that, I had so much stuff written down in my vision book and nothing was done. Okay. I'm talking about years worth of work. So I was like, okay, this year you're going to split up in 4 quarters of the year, and every 3 months you should be working on a number of projects, and that's what you're going to dedicate your time, energy, money, resources, and research and learning and all that to those things that you have in your Operation Manifestation. And so then from there it was like, okay, I need to translate this into something that I can do on a day-to-day basis to make sure that every day I'm working towards my goals. And so that's where the master to-do list came in. It's like your girl was always doing 10 different things. So I needed something to be organized. and I needed a list system that worked for me. And the master to-do list did that. And by the end of, I think it was like 2019, I had done so much. I had released my prayer album. I had released my empathy postcards. I had been out of state multiple times. I had traveled more. I had got closer to Jesus. I was doing more with my Jesus time. I had done so many things, okay? I did a fashion show for my birthday. Just awesome, okay? Just so many number of things. And I feel like that was because I wrote it all down, and every day, whether it was writing something like a blog, or sending a text message, or calling friends or family, or reading scripture, or taking deep breaths, I don't know, whatever it was that was on my to-do list, every day I was doing something, and it contribute to the end result. And so I truly believe in it. I've been using it for as, I want to say forever, but as you heard here, pretty much the past 2 years. So fast forward to recently, I wanted to do like a planner, but something still that I could do and nothing just too intense. So all I did was God gave me a title for a cover. I paired it with a new worksheet I had, which was the master growth plan. And that came with me working with the particular client. And they asked for something similar to that. And I just kind of like took what they asked me for and made it happen in my own way. And that's where I got the master growth plan from. So I paired all three of those up, and that's how I got the planner. So the planner says you can't spell plant without plan. And then in the little yellow part, it says, don't just plan for your future, plant for it. What you do today are seeds that will sprout tomorrow. And again, that literally just came from God. I was at work. It came to my mind. I was like, that's so freaking good. So when it comes to planning, it's so important. People don't like to plan because it's like, we are like fearful of disappointment as human beings. We don't want to be disappointed. We don't want to disappoint. It's just like, just like, girl, guy, get over it. Disappointment is going to happen. Okay. It's a part of life. Don't take it as a jab to the gut every time something does not work out for you. It's okay. I promise you, it's okay. Okay. So with that being said, when you plan, you're planting seeds. Every time that I do something with my master to-do list, I'm planting seeds for what I want my tomorrow to look like. Every time that I do something off of that, I'm preparing myself in my life to go in a direction and have control over that. So that was the cover. Okay. Sorry, I'm flipping through the pages. And so I made one for myself and I made one for my boyfriend. So this is what the master growth plan looks like. Just a quick look, so I don't want y'all to be reading stuff. It says your objective. And so the master growth plan, literally, y'all, is like an affirmation statement. It is an objective statement. It is a statement, okay, of what you want. Mine is literally a page and a half long. And it says like, it starts off with like, my objective for 2021 is to A, B, and C. And then it continues to go to say like, I will be financially stable. I will do this. I will do that. And it's a bunch of I wills because, again, it's like an affirmation. Mine is at work, so I can't show you mine because it's on my desk. So yeah, that's what the objective is. So you take the master growth plan and then you split up all the things that you want like to overall achieve in 2021, and you split them up into let's focus that. Bam. You split it up into quarters, and that is your operation and manifestation. Quarter 1, January through March. April through June, and so on and so forth. And you just try to knock out different things. If you want to write a book and you're just like, jumping into 2021, writing a book is just not going to work for me. Then what you do is make it into the middle of the year. You don't have to achieve everything in the first 6 months of the year. You have 12 months, okay? So give yourself time. I think when we plan stuff, we think that like, okay, it's supposed to happen right now. And some of the stuff may not even happen right now. Me writing a book was on my list like 3 years ago. Your girl, well, I did write. I did publish my workbook. So that happened. Again, something that happened. It wasn't what I was, wanting to publish or write, but it's still a book. And so that is the next tip. So the first tip is like, don't just write stuff down, put action behind it. So tip 1, don't just write things down, put action behind it. Okay. Tip 2 is be okay that when the manifestation comes, it may not look exactly like you thought it would look. So if I'm planting corn and my corn is grown, but it's not all pretty the way that I thought it was going to be, and some got little brown spots, or some look a little dirty, or whatever the case may be, like, it's still good. You get what I'm saying? It's still healthy for you. It's still going to benefit you. Don't trip. So no, I didn't write the book that I thought I was going to write, but I wrote another one. And it's still a great book. It's still helping people, and it's still helping to change lives. So the overall goal, I think, in addition to like, don't be disappointed when what you plan for doesn't look exactly like what you planned for when it first comes out. Remember what your objective is. Do you get what I'm saying? That's why it's important. Like last Sunday before like my week started, I went through and I reread my objective statement, because it's like, okay, Erica, like, what really do you want? What are you trying to see out of this year? And making sure I remember to tell my mind that, so when the next best opportunity comes, or when something falls through, I'm not easily shaken or just jolting from here and there, but I'm focused on what my objective is for the whole year. So I know that on this week's to-do list, I wanted to meet up with John Doe, and we scheduled a meeting, and that meeting didn't work out, and we didn't get to discuss what I thought we were going to be able to discuss, and it was important and all that good stuff. I don't have to be upset, because I still have time, and I can remember that the objective was not for me to meet with John Doe. The objective was for me to get a donor or a sponsor for a particular project that I have going on. So just because John Doe didn't, work out with us meeting this week, 1, I can meet with them next week. And then 2, I can meet with somebody else that could be a potential sponsor. Do you get what I'm saying? When things change, when change comes, opportunity rears its head. Okay? Change may come. Well, I'm sorry. Change will come. But when change comes, opportunity steps in. Okay? So I want you to have that mindset instead of disappointment. When something doesn't go the way that you planned it to go, don't think, oh crap, this sucks. Thinks, where's the opportunity in this? Okay, so that's the Operation Manifestation. And then this is the master to-do list. This here, y'all, is my absolute fave. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. The master to-do list makes me feel like I've just done so much. I know that you guys can, like, you feel me when you put something that you did on your to-do list that wasn't on your to-do list at first, because you're like, nah, we need to check that off because I put in work. That's what to-do lists do for me. It helps me to feel like, dude, I feel accomplished today. I know that I didn't do everything that I set out to do, but I did like 10 different tasks on my to-do list. So your girl is hitting it. And the way it has categories, as you've seen. And so I categorize mine from Jesus, Erica, and my boyfriend, Erica Nicole, storytellers, and where I work. Like all of those are categories. So then I can list on there like read, pray, praise and worship, do laundry, do my hair, like have quality time with my man, whatever it is, like do notes, like call granny, whatever it needs to be done, I put on these to-do lists within its respective categories. When I do that, I'm able to do a little bit of something in every category. And by Friday, y'all, if I'm doing my thing by Thursday, I've knocked out my entire to-do list, because it happens that quick when you're like, oh, I did that. Because what would happen was I'd be like, okay, Fridays, we going to do notes. And then on Fridays, I don't want to do notes. And then I end up on Canva and I'm making a flyer for something. And then I feel like I haven't accomplished anything or I didn't do what I was supposed to do. Blase, blase, blah. No. When you put it on the list and you just choose, okay, I did a couple notes. Okay, let me get on Canva. I wonder, let me read my book for a little bit. Let me do this. Not saying it has to be that sporadic, but that's kind of how my mind works. I swear I have ADHD and I do not feel like it's a bad thing because I've learned how to work with it as and use it as like a strength versus allow it to become a weakness for me. And so, and I've done different exercises. We're not going to get into that, but I've done certain exercises in the past to help train my brain to operate in a certain way that's more beneficial for me. And when I do things now, all this kind of the to-do list, everything helps me to be the best version of myself, which is ultimately what I want to do. So I explained all of that to y'all to tell you, I'm logging into my tablet, okay? Because I got some stuff to tell y'all. To tell you how when you write stuff down, it just happens. And it happens because you write it on your objective, like, okay, this is what my goal is. This year, I'm going to lose 50 pounds. That's like one of my goals, right? I want to lose 50 pounds. I'm trying to, live a healthier life, lead a healthier life overall. You know your girl, mind, body, and spirit. Every place has to be healed. Every place has to be like the best version of itself. That way we can be a whole best version of ourselves, okay? So that includes physical health, not just mental. So anywho, with that being said, I want to lose 50 pounds in 2021. So something that would be on my to-do list would be going and doing something active, being active for 20 minutes a day. Haven't got there yet, but that is a goal of mine, being active for at least 20 minutes a day, right? Getting that heartbeat up, sweating, all that good stuff that they talk about. So then if I'm being active and then I start adding in like juicing, which is usually now on my to-do list now that I'm juicing. So I'm making sure that I have my nutrients and stuff and planning out my grocery list more detailed. Then by the end of the year, I should have lost some weight. You get what I'm saying? And if by the end of the year, I don't lose 50, but I lost 35, I'm still winning, right? And then it's like, well, what's the opportunity in that? To share the journey of losing 35 pounds. You get what I'm saying? It just all works out. And so I wanted to back that up. Of course, spiritual wise, we know Habakkuk 2:2, and it talks about, I don't know why, but it talks about writing things down, writing the vision down and making it plain. So what it says is, then the Lord replied, write the revelation and make it plain on tablets so that the herald may run on with it. For the revelation awaits an appointed time. It speaks to the end and it will not prove false. So good. Though it linger, wait for it. It will certainly come and it will not delay. Okay, so let's get into it. As if we hadn't already got into something, all right? Seriously though, like that scripture again, Habakkuk 2:2, so freaking good because not only is it coming from Jesus himself, like write this down, what more instruction do you need to write something down? Write it down. A revelation is a deeper understanding of something, having like an aha moment, as Oprah would say it, okay? You're always having aha moments. Write that crap down. What are you doing? Type it in your phone. Put pen to paper. Where's your journal? Where's your notebook? Like I said, have a vision book. Write it down. Do you know that there are some people on this earth that pay for visions? Did you know that? That's the thing. I think that's tip number 3. Know that every vision may not be for you to carry out. It may be for somebody else. You may just be the person who can help them and give them the advice, but you may have some stuff for somebody else, okay? That's why you got so much. You can't complete it all, but other people can, or your kids can, generations after you. Don't be so consumed in like, I gotta accomplish all this before I die. There are things for you to accomplish, and there are some things that you can pass down and pass along. And people pass down money and royalties and stuff. I was lucky enough to have a wise mom, and she passed down some wisdom and some knowledge in Jesus. And then you add to that visions of like, man, my mom always wanted this, or this person always wanted this. She had this whole plan written down. They didn't get a chance to do it, or maybe it wasn't for them, but I think this is for me to do. You just never know. Write it down, okay? The other good thing outside of like, Jesus said this, what more do we need? But we'll go on. The other good thing about this is that it talks about like how it has an appointed time. Sometimes we write things down and we think it's supposed to come right now. Doesn't work like that, okay? Write it down, make it plain. And the herald is like somebody to go, like to complete the task. So sometimes, again, it won't be you to complete it, but you write it down so somebody else can come along and pick it up and like let it grow and do something greater with it than you ever even thought. And so it may take a little minute to you because you're like, why is this taking so long? It's been 3 years, like blase blah. And it's like, dude, calm down. It has an appointed time. You just don't know what it is. So hang in there. Write the vision, write it down. Write your plans down, plan it out, put it on paper, put it in your tablet, put it in your phone, put it on a sticky note, write it down, okay? I'll never forget coming back from California. A friend of mine was in the passenger seat. We're rolling, okay? Great trip. And she gets this great idea. She's a designer and a fashion stylist. So she gets this great idea and she's like, oh my gosh, I need a piece of paper. And I'm like, I don't got none. Look in the glove department. And she finds like a piece of mail or something. She sketches out a dress. And she's not even like a sketcher, but she sketches out this dress. And she's like, I'm going to make this one day. And she just kind of woke up out of her dreams, out of her, sleep. And I really admired that because I believe in writing things down, but that's the kind of way you need to be. That's how you need to be with writing things down. Get the idea, write it down. There's a awesome life coach that I love named Mel Robbins. Okay, I'm sure some of you've heard of her. She did a TED talk, and she talks about the 5-second rule and vulnerability and all this kind of awesomeness. And she gives the whole breakdown of the 5-second rule. But the part that like I love the most, like when she talked in her talk, she was saying how if you get an idea, write it down immediately. Text it to yourself, send it to a friend, email it to yourself, whatever, but write it down and get it down, because the likelihood of you going and doing what it is that you wrote down, you have a greater chance than if you do not write it down at all. You're going to stumble. You're going to scare yourself into, I don't have enough money. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough resources. What about this? What if that? And before you know it, you're stuck. No. Negative. So remember the 5-second rule. When you have an idea, write it down. You may not write it down in like detail, but write it down. Okay. And when you do, what ends up happening is you end up remembering just subconsciously, especially if you write it down in a place that you often see. You're going to remember like, okay, you're going to start doing things just like behind me. Like you see this, I have not, let me tell you, okay, I haven't looked at this board honestly in a while, but if I go through and look at it, like I'm doing this. Facebook Live with Dr. E is live and in action. I've been doing that for a year now, consistently. Yay to us. Travel, work, play. Last year I got to go do that and travel and shoot some storyteller videos and hang out with friends. Like, did that. Dancing. I love to dance, y'all. It makes me happy. I swear that was like my first passion. And so dancing just makes me happy, and praise dancing just one of my favorite ways to worship. So I start to do that more, or I make sure that I'm dancing. If I'm in the middle of an aisle at the store and I feel like I want to twirl, I twirl. Like, judge me if you want. I don't care. It brings me joy, and it reminds me to live. Like, oh my gosh, like it reminds me to freaking live, if nothing else. So just, we could go on, okay? Calendar of events, like affirmations, like I am whole, I am secure, reminding myself of who I am. And, this is one of the newer things, Erica Nicole, but y'all, it works. Planning works. Writing things down work. Writing things down work. So please write it down. The growth plan, like I did this in Google Docs. I can give you, as an individual life coaching client, I could do one of these for you into like the growth plan, but for the operation manifestation and the master to-do list, I freely will give that to you. Okay? Freely. But if you want some guidance and some direction, and we want to get this thing down and done, holler at your girl. I'm here for it. Okay? But the other two worksheets, y'all can have those to help you. I am here to help. Okay? Because somebody helped me. And I really want you guys to like be the best versions of yourselves. And that whole manifestation thing, it's true. If you plan it, if you write it down on paper, if you write it down, if you write it down, if you write it down, I promise you it will happen. Now, whether it happens today or tomorrow, it's up to two things: God's timing and will, and your work ethic and consistency. With those two things, you doing your part and God doing his, you'll never fail. Everything will be a lesson. Lessons and blessings. No failure. God's will and timing, your work ethic and consistency. That's how you manifest what you write down. Writing things down and then doing nothing afterwards is going to get you nowhere. Write the stuff down when you get the idea, and then go out and do something with it. Start a conversation with a friend. Pull up a YouTube video about what you just wrote down, your idea. Google if something like that already exists. Talk to somebody. Read a book. Take a class. Put action behind what it is that you want. Okay? You can't plant something without tilling the ground, without watering, without weeding, without pruning. You just can't. So you can't plan for your future. You can't plan for your day or tomorrow, wherever, without putting in no work. You're going to yield nothing. And the objective is to yield as much as freaking possible. So that way you'll be good and you're able to go out and do good for others. So yeah, that is what my video was about today. This week's vlog. I appreciate you guys for joining me. If you like the content, if you like what I'm sharing, again, my name is Erica McFarland. My brand is Erica Nicole. And if you want to hear more and you have ideas of what type of vlogs you would like to see me do weekly, feel free to comment below. And I encourage you to subscribe and like this page and subscribe to Erica Nicole. That way you can stay abreast of everything that I have going on and get free stuff, get announcements, all that good stuff. Erica Nicole is awesome. Come and be a part. So thank you again for joining me this vlog this week, and I will see you guys next week.